With San Diego Comic-Con being 2 weeks away, legitimately 2 weeks, Wednesday, not next week, but the next, it will be preview night for San Diego Comic-Con, where we will get plenty of brand new WWE Mattel action figure reveals. This guy, Chris Johnson, goes to Facebook, and he has apparently leaked the next series of Monday Night Wars Elites, man. So we're going to get into this and unpack it, and you guys can let me know what you think about this entire set. But we're going to dive into this, and this will, of course, be confirmed or denied here in 2 weeks. So if this is not true, we can go all point and laugh at that guy. I'll find you. But today, here we go, man. Let's get into the first figure. This first figure doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I could see this. I could absolutely see this, and I'll just explain it. But the first one is going to be the Godfather, and Godfather does have a couple elites. He did, not too long ago, get a Legends figure. I think that was either last year or the year before, and it was a really good figure, man. It was much upgraded from the Elite 39 OG Elite in the lime green or the bright green attire way back in the day, man. That was a really old figure. We finally got a second Godfather. And what's crazy is plugging him here. You know, we're 13 sets or so deep into this Monday Night Wars Elite set, or this series, mind you. And, you know, the Godfather is not some extremely rare figure. He is absolutely needed for this display in this shelf and era. But it's just, you know, he does go on to kind of describe what the figure looks like. It says it's going to be a brand new attire, soft goods red vest, which is pretty cool to change up from the rubber vests we've seen, and apparently going to be in blue pants. So it's going to be similar to this. Apparently it comes with a blue hat to match with the chains, and that would make for a pretty cool figure. This will be our first cloth vest Godfather figure, and it'll probably have the vest that came on the WWE Elite Legends Razor Ramon or whatever figure that was that came with that cloth goods vest. I imagine that is exactly what this will be for the Godfather, but let me know if you like the Godfather in this line. Next up, we have probably, at least on paper, is probably my favorite pick from this set, and it is going to be Triple H. Apparently, this is going to be from 1999. This is the moment where he marries Stephanie McMahon. It's the big swerve. He's going to be sporting a leather jacket with a DX shirt up under it. He has the boutonniere on his jacket as well, and he comes with interchangeable hands and a marriage license, and it is in the ponytail hairstyle. So apparently it's also going to be blue jeans with a backwards hat and his hair up in a ponytail. Now, we have seen some figures similar to this, and I can already kind of imagine what this figure is going to look like. You can kind of envision it, especially if you do some thinking, but this is a pretty cool moment to replicate the Mattel figure, you know, the Mattel figure line, and I could see them repainting this a couple different times depending on how they build the figure. That's kind of how I'm thinking it. You know, I'm imagining it won't be a cloth goods jacket. I'm imagining it will be the sculpted sleeves that we have seen on Roddy Piper, that we've seen on X-Pac, that we've seen on Eric Bischoff. That is the kind of elite or the style that I'm imagining this figure having. And it could be a very similar look to what we got on the Defining Moments Triple H way back in the day. And then they could redo that figure in that iconic Triple H look. And that would be a really easy repaint for them to do and a really simple thing. And I could see them doing that in the Monday Night Wars Greatest Hits or maybe in some sort of Legends line. And so I think out of all the figures that were leaked out, this is probably the one that I'm most excited for as far as the rest of the lineup is concerned. But I think this just has the, I don't know, I just think this is the one that gets me the most excited and where we stand, and I'll get into the rest of the lineup. And I cannot wait. I want to hear from you down in the comment section below what you think of this set if you're going to be purchasing it. And again, we should have this confirmed in 2 weeks' time. So, you know, it's just one of those wait-and-see things. There's going to be plenty of figures, and I will be there at Comic-Con in person to cover everything, and I will be posting on my Instagram, my Facebook, my TikTok, and of course here on the YouTube channel doing a full booth walkthrough on all the different days of the reveals and, you know, giving you all the panel news and all the information, man. So stay tuned to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these things that we're discussing here. But that is the second figure in the set. So far we have Godfather and Triple H. The next figure in this set is going to be Kevin Nash, and I swear to God, it seems like we get a Kevin Nash every other day. It seems that way. At least there's a lot of Kevin Nashes. There's way more than you would actually expect. But this Kevin Nash is going to come in black and red gear, apparently, with a red cloth goods Wolfpack shirt. And I'll put in an image about probably what it will look like. And he will apparently also come with the WCW Championship, as well as interchangeable hands, as we know. But Kevin Nash, man, I mean, my goodness, it just seems like there are so many. Not only Diesel, you know, not just Kevin Nash, but also Diesel. And, you know, we're going to be getting another Kevin Nash here. And that makes sense to me. You know, we've seen some figures in very similar gear. I think we've seen this Wolfpack shirt with Kevin Nash before, but it was in the rubber garb, you know, with the sleeveless, kind of that Ryback tank top style shirt, or that lifting or workout shirt. And that doesn't shock me at the slightest to see Kevin Nash in this line. And you know, that's just another Kevin Nash to chalk up there, but that is the third figure there. So we have Godfather, we have Triple H, we have Kevin Nash, and the last figure in this set before we get into the Build-A-Figure is going to be Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which is not somebody I would necessarily... Now, some of you out there may think to yourselves, oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan right off the bat when you think about this, but... apparently, this is going to be later WCW era Jim Duggan in blue shorts. He has blue knee pads and blue boots, and he will come with a 2x4 and interchangeable hands. And this, I don't know, this is not the most exciting to me, you know, and running through this whole Elite lineup right here, none of these figures necessarily are super rare on the aftermarket or, you know, people begging for re-releases of these characters necessarily. If I'm wrong, please let me know if these are specific looks you'd like to see. I think I like the Triple H the most because it has a moment tied into it, and it just kind of, I don't know, that just fits a lot better. I like when they make moments of figures or definitive looks, and I like the one-off looks of characters, but usually there's a moment or something tied specifically to that. But with this Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you know, we're about to get, you know, some people have the figure in hand, but the Legends Ultimate Edition Hacksaw Jim Duggan that's hitting Target stores, that's like definitive Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't know another Hacksaw that you would possibly need, but, you know, maybe you want this specific version of Hacksaw. If you think this was an absolute must-have for a collection, you can let me know. But, you know, as far as the Monday Night Wars line is concerned, the figures are usually well made. There's going to be details packed in. There's going to be some things and some chances taking on these figures. So, you know, like looking at it off rip, you may think, oh, but think about the Monday Night Wars line as a whole. I get excited about the Monday Night Wars line in a lot of ways because I know that each figure will be crafted in a certain way to capture some certain details. And not that I agree with every single decision on how these figures are designed, but there is going to be a level of detail that is put into these figures. Think about the Steve Blackman. Think about the Sid Vicious with the Jordans and the gym bag. And, you know, just certain little aspects and tweaks like that that really throw the figures over the top in the Monday Night Wars line. So that's something I can say for this set. But as far as the Build-A-Figure is concerned here, kind of a wild one. You can let me know what you think. But the Build-A-Figure is apparently going to be Stephanie McMahon from the same episode from the Triple H that we're getting in this set. So they're going to go hand in hand, and this is going to be the Triple H Mary Stephanie segment. Stephanie is in black pants with the red top. Pretty iconic moment, pretty crazy that they would include this. Now, we have seen a few different Stephanie McMahons. I think this will make her 5th Elite in the entire line, if I'm not mistaken, not including those basic suited figures or those authority-style figures. But, you know, she's had a couple WrestleMania appearances. She had the Elite 94, you know, with the Women's Championship. And then she had that Milk-O-Mania Epic Moments 3-pack with the, you know, the soaked milk face and all those different things. So that's kind of a... You know, this will be her 5th Elite, apparently, and that's pretty cool. That's she actually has a decent amount of figures here, but this one could be the go-to Stephanie McMahon for your collection. You know, those other two are, you know, kind of modern day, and so you get, you know, more of a throwback Stephanie right here that are pretty nice, and I think that this is a pretty cool Build-A-Figure. It's something a little bit different. I'm interested to know if there's anything newly sculpted here, or if it'll just be the Elite 94. Maybe they'll give it the ball joint waist like we saw with Chyna. I don't know, or, you know, the Rhea Ripley Ultimate, the Tiffany Stratton Ultimate. I'm interested to kind of see if that will be a thing, if the Build-A-Figure will have that articulation, or if it'll just be one of those older standard Elite torsos. But this is huge, man. You know, being Comic-Con, we should be able to see some brand new things. You know, with that new Goldberg release, if you saw the review that we did just the other day, the Monday Night Wars Goldberg Ultimate Edition, you know, we're going to get an update on X-Pac and some of these other Ultimates. I'm excited to see who else is going to be included with that ball joint torso, because I think you guys are going to be excited when you get that in hand and actually get to feel the figure, because it really does make the figure stand out, man. So that should be really fun, but that is your Monday Night Wars lineup right here. for Series 13, apparently. The Godfather, Triple H, Kevin Nash, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and a Build-A-Figure Stephanie McMahon, man. So let me know what you guys think of this set. Are you excited for this set? What are you looking for? We're going to have tons of Comic-Con content and coverage and figure news coming soon to the channel, man. But I appreciate you guys so very much. You guys are unbelievably goated, and I just appreciate you so much, man. But let me know your thoughts on all these things down below, if you'll be grabbing or skipping. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I will catch you guys later.